Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, as you know if you watched my previous videos, I have sold both of my 50cc scooters, both chainsaw and Chewy, and bought a brand new one. What scooter did I buy? Well, it's better I show you than tell you. So without any further ado, here's Donnie. Come on, boy. Come on. I'm sorry, he's a little bit camera shy. Come on, boy. It's his first time behind the in front of the camera lens, so he's a little bit shy. So, as you can see, I didn't stray too far away from my usual formula for my city scooter. I stayed with SYM, I stayed with the Symphony ST, but I got myself the 2021 Symphony ST200. Why did I get the 200 as opposed to the 125? Well, for me it's a very simple reason. It's air-cooled, and I prefer an air-cooled engine for something I use, let's say, gets high amount of use. Considering he's just under 2 weeks old, I already have 800 kilometers on the clock. But the 125 is a great option for normal people. I ride a lot, especially a lot in the city, and I prefer air-cooled because when he's gonna get to 30, 40, 50,000 kilometers. I don't want to have to deal with water pump, water tank, radiator, stuff like that. For me, it's about reliability. And also, I decided to stick with the Symphony ST because honestly, for 2021, I think the redesign of the ST, SYM really pulled out all the stops on this model. In my humble opinion, is that for the money, this is about 3,150 euros, something like that. For the money, this is the absolute best scooter for city riding. And why do I say that? Well, they changed quite a lot from the previous model and a lot of things that personally I would have wanted to see changed. Now, they've retained the 16-inch wheels, love that. The back one is a 14-inch rim, but with a fat, meaty tire, so it comes up to the general circumference of the front 16. So it is a 14 rim, acts like a 16-inch wheel. Second of all, they've replaced the front headlight from halogen, now it's LED. So considering I ride quite a lot and you cannot turn off the headlight, I used to go through halogen bulbs every 3 or 4 months. And it's quite a process to change it. Considering I had the windscreen, I would have had to take off the front windscreen and then this entire front fairing just to change the headlight. It was almost an hour-long process. LED won't have to change it for the next couple of years. Second of all, what I really like, the fuel tank has been moved here, but they have retained the flat floor. This is something you rarely see. A fuel tank that's that's inside the floor of the scooter, but with a flat floor. And I still have a hook, so I can still put luggage, put a bag, put something, go grocery shopping with it. And because they've moved the fuel tank under the floor, it opened up this space. And now this space is big enough for 2 jet-sized helmets. It's double the size. The underseat storage is double that of the previous model. And also, the 200 model comes with a top case with a backrest for the pillion. The top case is painted in the same color as the scooter, and also it opens with the same key as you have for the ignition. A really nice package, really complete package. The only thing I'm waiting on at the moment is a front windscreen. And that's about it. And heated grips. I'm gonna put heated grips on him for the winter. And probably try to look into a heated seat, but I'm on the rocks with that one just yet. I'm not sure I want a heated seat or not because I have heated gear. Also, another big thing for the 2021 model, because the drivetrain was updated for Euro 5. And the previous 200, I thought, used the same transmission setting as the 125. Now, the difference between this and the 125, in terms of power, they may have the same 12 horsepower, but this has 30 newton meters of torque at 5500 RPM. The 125 has 11 newton meters of torque at 6000 RPM. So this makes more torque down lower. Now I don't know exactly what they did. I'm thinking either they changed the springs on the clutch plates or they changed the roller weights inside the transmission, because the transmission engages the back wheel a lot sooner. And basically when you want to set off, you don't have to rev the engine, it just sets off nicely. And when you're going 60-70 kilometers and maintaining speed, it doesn't keep the engine at a high RPM, it keeps it at a low RPM, and it's really pleasant. You don't hear the engine struggling. The transmission really knows how to use the torque of this bigger engine. In terms of fuel consumption, it drinks a little bit more fuel than the 125. The 125 is about 0.3, 0.4 liters per 100 kilometers, more economical. But for me, having this better setup transmission, more torque, an air-cooled engine, not having to deal with water cooling, it's a trade-off I'm willing to accept. But now, let's get him out on the road a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about how he rides, because it's almost the same as my previous ST, but there are a few subtle differences from the previous model because of where the fuel tank is placed and how the weight is distributed. So let's get him back out, let's get him out on the road and see how he rides. Now, before we get out on the open road, first of all, let's get out of this forest. Nice filming spot, but the mosquitoes are absolutely killing me. And to answer probably a first question, considering the setting I chose for filming, is this an adventure bike? Well, like I always say, any bike is an adventure bike. The only thing I see being a small problem is because the fuel tank is in the floor, the ground clearance is not that spectacular. But otherwise, he's got power for days. Now, if only I could remember which way was out. I think it's this way. No. Oh, it's that way. Yeah. Is it? I'm not sure how to get out. No, it's that way. You know the thing of paying attention where you're going just in case you want to backtrack? Yep, I didn't do that. I was just looking for a filming location. Really love the torque of the engine. Woo! Although you have to be careful because I'm not on knobbly tires. So in case, if it's a little bit slippery, then it will get out of hand. Yep, that was the exit. Alright, I'll get on the road and we'll chat a little bit more about how it rides. Now, the first thing I can tell you about how it rides is how does he handle a rough road like this. This is a gravel road with a bit of ruts. Now, my old Symphony ST was a bit crashy on the bumps. The fork still feels a little bit crashy, but the back wheel being a 14 with a thicker tire really handles the bumps quite nicely. And you can use the power to shift the weight forward and back to get weight out from the front forks and lift them up a little bit when you're coming up to a particularly big bump. So it actually handles the whoop-de-doos a lot better. But now let's get him on the road. Now my first impressions about how he rides. Well, he's just as comfortable as my previous ST. And honestly, that's great praise because I have done tens of hours in one day riding him for 46,000 kilometers for over a year and a half. So he's been very good to me in terms of comfort, and this new ST really doesn't, it follows the formula of the old one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm really glad SYM decided. The seat is a little bit sculpted, so you have a little bit more support for your ass when you accelerate. But otherwise, I still have plenty of leg room. The handlebars are in a nice comfortable position, not too low, not too high. The only thing I'm truly missing is a windscreen. I'm used to the windscreen, I don't have it, I'm getting all this wind blast in my face. But as soon as a windscreen is available for the new model, I will be surely getting one. And considering I'm going to keep Donnie for quite some time, I'm gonna get a half-sized one for summer and a full-sized one for winter. Now, the main differences of its dynamics compared to the previous model. You can really feel that the fuel tank is at your feet. It's very easy to flick it left and right, even more so than the previous model was. The big wheels give it stability in the corners, and it's now, I don't know, a little bit more eager to turn into a bend. Like you can really punch it and you can lean it into the bend. And it's very nice, controllable, a very pleasant lean. You can really feel the weight being down low, and that really helps out a bunch. I'm currently with a full tank. Normally it would be under my seat. Now it's down by my feet, putting some weight on the front wheel. That's the problem with scooters. They don't have weight on the front wheel. And also what this also helped, the previous ST wheel wobbled above 70 or 80 kilometers an hour like crazy. This one, let's see, 70, straight as an arrow. Now you should never take your hands off the handlebars, but it's nice to know they have fixed the wheel wobble. It gives a sense of more safety when you're doing 70, 80. He's capable of 110 kilometers an hour, believe it or not. Hello, good friend. Another rider. So for the most part, I am really impressed with the dynamics. They are 90% as good or 90% similar to the previous model. The only 10% difference is making it better. So they haven't made it worse, they made it better. They looked at the old models, saw what could we do, what could we fix, and they actually fixed it. They actually did stuff, they improved it, they fixed it. The ABS is godsend, honestly. And I'm glad SYM don't try to do their own ABS like some manufacturers. They just went to Bosch. They just got one from Bosch. ABS from a big company that really knows how to do it, and it works beautifully. It works beautifully. It gives you a proper sense of safety and a sense you can really trust the brakes. When you really push on them, the ABS handles itself beautifully. Now we can see how can we use the power. Now punch it, Donnie, come on! There we go, 40, 50. Come on, let's do 60, 70. He'll go up to 110, no problem. We're doing 80 already. And because they fixed the wheel wobble, now when we're just cruising, we can do just light hand on the throttle. And because the transmission has been changed to engage the wheel a lot sooner, you don't need to pull on the throttle a lot, even to maintain speeds like 70 kilometers an hour. Just a light hand on the throttle, and it's enough to keep up with 70 kilometer an hour traffic. This, the transmission combined with the position of the fuel tank and the torque of the engine, this is why I think it has one of the best drivetrains and chassis of any scooter out on the market. And the combination of the top case included with the huge underseat storage make it one of the most practical, combined with the flat floor and with the hook. This is why I think it's one of the most dynamic scooters out on the market and one of the most practical in this class of small city scooters. It's a small city scooter that punches way above its weight class. So needless to say, I'm quite impressed with the new Symphony ST. And I think we're gonna have tens of thousands of happy kilometers, me and Donnie together. Next week, I am going up to the mountains with him. Alp is staying home. Donnie is going on his first tour. We'll see how he handles a 300-400 kilometer trip. We'll see how comfortable he is on a long trip. We'll see how the luggage space is. I'm looking at it now, it's awesome. But let's see when we have actual luggage to carry with us for a weekend away. Hello. So
If the video of the trip with Donnie is already out, I'll put a link up here. If not, get subscribed. You're gonna see it very soon. Now, back to the forest.
And that has been it for this video. Thank you very much for watching if you've made it to the end of the video. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. Press that red button down there. It really helps me out a lot. And it doesn't cost anything. It's free. It's free. Just press it. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on. Come on. Down there. Down there. Just press it. Come on. Thank you. Now, this isn't a full review of the ST. I want to spend a few months with it, 2 or 3 months with it, really get some miles done, some kilometers covered. I want to cover around 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers before I give a full in-depth review and ownership experience of the 2021 SYM Symphony ST200. But until then, next weekend I'm taking him on a trip to Predal with everybody from SYM. We're taking a whole bunch of scooters to a festival, a music festival. We're gonna be showcasing them, and I'm gonna bring you a couple of videos from that showcase. So stick around, because the next few videos are gonna be quite interesting. But until I see you next time, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Take care out there and ride safe. Bye.